Hi again then guys, and welcome to another tune setup predominantly for circuit racing with handling and grip in mind for Gran Turismo Sport. And this of course was a car that I reviewed yesterday on the channel, and this time we're breaking down the tuning side of things. A couple of people were asking what tune I was using to make it so good. Now one of the things that did make it so good, which I'd completely forgotten about, was the tyres. I was running RS tyres on it, as you could see in that replay. But the reason for that is because, as I mentioned in that review, I was initially intending to use it for the money-earning method on Blue Moon Bay. So I wanted as much cornering grip as possible, but I forgot to change them back. So that kind of explains why it was that much quicker than a Ford GT. But still, a car that's 2 categories lower with racing tyres, that's still impressive, let's be honest. 2 whole categories lower, 4 seconds quicker. Now, I've changed it to Sport Softs instead, so you can still go seriously quick, of course, and it depends what tyres you want to fit, basically. As far as the upgrades, you don't really need to upgrade the power at all, because you're just pushing it up to the peak of N400, and then for the weight, I would recommend lowering it as much as you can. You don't have to, but it can certainly make a big difference, of course. A car that's more luxury inclined with all-wheel drive can certainly benefit from that. Traction control, you definitely don't need at all. Tyres, as I said, that's down to you. As far as the suspension, I've got the ride height on 100mm, so it's not slammed, but it is lowered. The frequency on 2.2, anti-roll relatively low on 4, then the compression on the dampers on 60, the rebound on 90, neutral camber and toe, and you really don't need any on this one. You can't adjust the downforce, which, if I recall, I think you couldn't on Gran Turismo 6 either, so that's not really anything new. As far as the diff, I've got the lowest settings on everything, which is a little bit different to what I'd usually do. And as I usually say, if you want to try other settings, by all means, you can always come back to this if it doesn't work out. And as far as the gearbox, I haven't actually touched it at all because it's already quick enough. Now if you want to change the gears, of course you can, but the fact that the car is still in N400 means that you're basically running the same power that the gearbox was designed for, so you don't really need to change it. If, however, you want to get through the gears quicker or want to stretch them out for whatever reason, of course you could do it then, but you really don't need to, so it's a super simple tune. Really easy to tune and easy to use, and so all that remains, obviously, is to see what it looks like in action. Now, as you can see from the footage, incidentally from the review that I did for the car, it looks great as it's cornering. It feels planted, it's so easy to drive, it's easy to control, it's very forgiving, and that incidentally makes it perfect for less experienced drivers, if not beginners. Now it's not the most affordable thing in the world, but it's not overly expensive either. 167 grand, that's not too bad, that's cheaper than a Lambo for instance, so it's pretty well placed, and it's a lot easier to drive than many of the other exotics of its type. It's easier than the 458, easier than the Huracan, even though that car has all-wheel drive, and although those cars could be certainly tuned to be quicker than this, they're not as beginner-friendly, so this tune really is geared towards those who are maybe new to the game, who just want something that will immediately shave 4, 5, 6 seconds off of your average lap because of how easy it is to use. So if you need a car to grind in different classes with, it's a perfect one to go with. And of course, if you do decide to use the tune, I hope you have a ton of fun with it. And if you'd like to check out my other builds for faster cars in different classes, etc., then of course you can click through to see those at the end. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.